Hello there, everybody. I'm Mr. Gampine. This is Let's Play Banjo Kazooie Grunty's Revenge, Part 2. Last time we got a decent way into the first world, and, here we are giving our fourth Jinjo hint. Indeed, he might know me to turn that on. Alright. So, yeah, this is a, it's pretty easy world, you know, first world stuff, not hard. Let's see here. In the first game, we had Mumbo's Mountain as the first world, and in the second game, we had, Mayhem Valley, or, yeah, something like that. And so, in general, Banjo Kazooie follows the standard video game tradition of having the first world in the game be a big greenery area, with lots of grass, lots of plant life, all that good stuff. And yet they always manage to give a good new twist on it every time. I can definitely appreciate that. Unlike the Sonic the Hedgehog series, which always seems to stick with basically Green Hill Zone with a new name. Now here we have empty honeycombs. I didn't talk about them last time. But just like in the first game, you use them to extend your health bar. And, well, like for the first two games, actually. And just like the second game, Honey Bee appears once more to give you your health extensions. Alrighty then! Roll! We can be Sonic the Bear Hog! Alright, so with that said, it's time to help some more sheep. Because, obviously, what we do in farms is help sheep. I mean, really, what else would we be doing? Oh, we found all the chickens. That was a mission that we picked up last episode. So, are you ready for another minigame? Because it's time for the second type of minigame in this game. That's right, it's fishing! So, yeah, just use the B button. The longer you hold the B button, the further you'll cast the reel. It's, not that hard, just this minigame is just kind of annoying, especially later on. Because later on, they add in things that will actually harm you if you capture them. Of course, this is the first one, so they don't have anything like that. It's just very simple. I remember my first times playing through this game, I had an incredibly difficult time with these fishing mini-games, and well, just the mini-games in general, really. Just very tough for me to do whenever I was a kid. Another thing that I'd like to mention about the game is the fact that the enemies respawn a lot. Alright, like, you know, in the first game, enemies didn't respawn at all. If you defeated an enemy in the world, that enemy would stay dead unless you left the world and came back. In the second game, enemies would respawn, but it would take them a while. In this game, enemies respawn the moment that the area where they appear leaves the screen. So, wow, watch, I'm gonna beat this guy. Alright, now let's leave the screen, walk over here a little bit. Alright, this distance should be good. I guess it wasn't good enough. But the point is that they respawn a lot. And that means that you're going to be taking a lot of hits in this game. I mean, seriously, I took way more hits playing through this game than I've ever taken in any Banjo Kazooie game ever, I think. Uh-oh. Looks like Klungo's working up a super crop of death. Well, you know, I just used the spin dash. Rightio then, time to do our hero thing by walking him walking around circles. Klungo basically acts exactly as he did in Banjo Tooie. Pretty much the exact same boss battle, except sometimes whenever he has his shield up, he'll move around. That's new. And he doesn't actually have any other special ability. Like, in Banjo Tooie, he'd always have some sort of special ability, like cloning himself, turning invisible, or turning huge, that he would activate whenever he turned off his shield. But in this case, no, he just turns off his shield to walk around, which he can already do with his shield on. So, yeah. Klungo, you might be the smart science guy, but you're not being too smart right now. Oh, you are you? Whenever it comes to the bosses of this game, it's kind of in between Banjo Kazooie and Banjo Tooie of the quality of the bosses. Because, on one hand, in the first game, there were no real official bosses for each world. I mean, you had most worlds had some sort of giant enemy, or maybe a collection of enemies to fight that would give you a Jiggy, but it was never actually labeled as the boss. In Banjo Tooie, all the bosses were actually labeled as bosses, and they were all very unique bosses. In this game, well, basically, all the bosses are definitely labeled as bosses. You have to take a special boss pad to get to them. But, as you'll see, there's basically only 2 bosses in the game, which we'll see as we go along. So anyway, here's Mumbo. Not Mumbo's ancestor, like he said we would be finding, but Mumbo himself. Mumbo Jumbo, the guy from the first and second games. And it should be noted that in Banjo Kazooie, whenever he casts his termite spell on you, he says that it wasn't bad for his first spell. Well, yeah, this is not his first spell. I don't know, maybe he just doesn't count this. Maybe he was just wanting Banjo Kazooie to not know that he had transformed them in the past, so that it wouldn't cause a time paradox. I don't know, something else. It should be noted that the rat, or the mouse, if you fall into the water, you die. Immediately. In fact, that's the case for most of the transformations. You also can't fight anything as the mouse, so be careful. Alright, I'm gonna get my reward. Alright. A fun thing about the Mumbo transformations in this game is that once you get a Mumbo transformation, you can use it in any of the previous worlds. A sad thing about the Mumbo transformations is the fact that this game has practically no backtracking. There's only one Jiggy that you ever need to backtrack for. So the fact that you can go to previous worlds with all your transformations isn't really utilized to any extent. It's just sort of there. Although I guess it is worth noting that the one Jiggy that you have to go back into a world for actually does involve a Mumbo transformation for a future world. Oh, and I found all the notes. Cool. This is actually one of the worlds that I hadn't found all the notes in before. So, yeah, that's really cool. Alright, now, it should be noted that with the Mumbo transformations, in Banjo Kazooie, if you ran into a space where you couldn't use the transformation anymore, you just de-transform. In Banjo Tooie, if you ran into a space where you wouldn't be able to take your transformation, you'd just be sent backwards. It would be like a wall in your way. But in this game, it just teleports you right over to Mumbo's hut. So it's somewhere in between. Honestly, I like it better than the way that Banjo Tooie did it, but I think that the way that Banjo Kazooie did it is best. At least, for someone who's experienced at the game. For someone who's never played the game before, the Banjo Tooie way would probably be best because it doesn't interrupt you. Like, oh man, I didn't realize that I couldn't go this way with this transformation, but now it's gone, or now I'm way back over here. But in Banjo Tooie, it's just, oh, okay, I'll just find something else to do with this transformation. Alright, so with this Jiggy right here, I believe that we're done. The Breegull Beach Jinjos? Who could they be? We'll be finding out very soon. So yeah, there was the farm area of the game. That was very nice, very quick. Now it's time to explore more of Spiral Mountain, because we can explore more of Spiral Mountain, why not? This looks interesting. Hello there! Absolutely! It should be noted that she doesn't take away your honeycombs in this game, she just adds more that you need to collect. So we didn't lose the 3, we just got a new goal, I guess you could say. Alright. Now as you can see, this bush is glittery, and thus there is a Jiggy under it. This bush is also glittery, and thus there is health under it. Other bushes aren't glittery, and so dangerous stuff is going to be under those. Alright, now here we have the titular mountain that is all spirally and such. However, we can't really do anything with this right now. We could hit this Jiggy switch, and that would make a Jiggy appear that we would have a time limit to get. But without a move that we have later, it's impossible to get that Jiggy at this time. And just for demonstration, Whiplash, Whiplash, and Whiplash. Yeah, those are bad. Oh, and the Jiggy would appear right here. If we had the one that you use the switch on top of Spiral Mountain for. And with that, we've explored pretty much all of Spiral Mountain that we can explore right now. Yeah, I already did that. Thanks, buddy. Basically, the earliest time that you can get that hint is by grabbing a Jinjo that you would have to find by passing Honeybee's hive. Yeah. Alright, so we have 12 Jiggies when we only needed 6. We are doing exceptionally awesome. And now, my friends, the second world is open. Now, of course, in Banjo Kazooie, whenever you opened a world, entered it, and then left it again, enemies from that world would begin roaming the castle. That isn't the case in this game, it's more like Banjo Tooie in that respect. The only enemies that you're going to find in Spiral Mountain are the Gruntlings, the Whiplashes, and one more enemy that we haven't seen yet. It's, basically those TNT boxes from the first game, like, you usually found them in Rusty Bucket Bay. Okay, Breegull Beach time. And here we have yellow Jinjos. I guess I should mention that, in this game, Jinjos in a world are all going to be of the same color, rather than the first game, where the Jinjos in a world would all be different colors. It's kind of like the first game, how you have to get all the Jinjos of a single color before you get a Jiggy for them. Alright, blue seashell. We'll be picking quite a few of these up. Ooh, and what's this? Why, it's blue eggs! I see. Let's go up here and see what we can see out by the sea. What you gotta say about this? I've got enough notes for it. What? Aw, man. Well, actually, there is a price fixed for the move. 140. I've got 162, so pay up, buddy. Alright, now, this area, as the second area in the game, is actually quite important. I don't believe that you can get enough Jiggies to go to the next world without doing the particularly important thing in this world. As you've been seeing, we've been finding moves that require Kazooie to use, or learn even. Also, here we have Gruntlings with extra HP. The blue ones take 2 hits. We'll be finding even tougher ones as we go along. But before we move on, I'm going to basically do a transformation in this world. I guess I would like to mention that in every world there's a new transformation, except this one. This is the only world where you're never going to find a new transformation. However, they do have something for your mouse form to do. Like I said earlier, your mouse form cannot attack, so that makes this section really annoying with all these enemies running around. But yeah, we're saving all the breegulls, which, by the way, Kazooie is a breegull. That is her species. And what's this? Did I hear a Jinjo call for help? Or rather, whistle for help? Yeah, yes, I did. Alright, 2 Jinjos. We'll have to talk to the Jinjo Oracle whenever we get to a chance. You'll probably start the next episode with it, actually. Probably. And we should almost be done here. Yes! Well, you could give me a Jiggy, that's always nice. Alright, nothing else for a mouse to do on the Breegull Beach. In general, reception for this game was meh. Nobody really hated it or anything, but people didn't generally enjoy it a whole lot either. It's just an average game. But really, I believe that it's only average because of the hardware limitations. As I play through the game, we'll be able to see that, yeah, this game actually has a lot of heart. It has the good Banjo Kazooie jokes, it has the good Banjo Kazooie puzzles, but it's crazy short. I believe there's only like 6 worlds in the entire game, maybe 5. And so there's only like 60 Jiggies and 600 notes in the entire game. Meaning that it's a very short Banjo Kazooie game. I mean, sure, Banjo Tooie had fewer notes and Jiggies than the first one. But, well, not to this extent. Of course, I guess it's at least a nice 6600 dichotomy, rather than Banjo Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, which has just some random number of Jiggies and notes to find. Anyway, let's talk to the Jinjo Oracle. Ooh, Gruntilda. We're going to be attacking Gruntilda soon. But with that said, I believe that this is it for the second episode of Banjo Kazooie Grunty's Revenge. I've been Mr. Given Pie, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.